Hey everybody, welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. My name is Josie and I'm so glad you guys are here. This is a cooking and baking day for me. We have a church singing tonight. We have it once a month and we always have a fellowship dinner afterwards. So I put this coconut in the oven and toasted it off. What I did was I laid it out on a piece of parchment paper and for about 5 minutes on, well, I've got it preset for my cake. So I went ahead and put it in there. Don't leave the kitchen. You will burn your coconut. But I left it in there usually about 5 minutes, but you can take it out and kind of move it around like this and put it back in until it gets as brown as you want it. And this is going to be the top of a cake that I'm getting ready to put in the oven when it's cool. Now, I've got a pan here. And I've got a boxed cake mix from this grocery store prepared here. And I'm just going to pour this up and bake it off at 350 degrees until the cake is done. Now, I used a store brand cake mix. You can use store brand. You can use name brand. You can make a homemade cake mix and use that. Now the recipe, this is gonna be, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what we're making. This is a coconut cream cake. And we are gonna bake the cake off like normal, any white cake mix, and you're gonna just prepare it, put it in the oven, bake it, and when you take it out, we do the next step before you ever let the cake cool off. And so I've got a cake mix prepared here, a white cake, but I'm gonna tell you, don't be too rough on yourself. If all you have in your cabinet and you can't get to the store, or you don't have a good recipe for a homemade white cake mix, or you really just don't have the time to make it, you just need something that you can just throw in the pan and be done with it. If all you have is yellow cake mix, I say use it. The cake's still going to be delicious. It's just not going to be pure white on the inside. And so I've got this cake mix ready to go. I'm going to put it in the pan. Now this cake is going to bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. Everyone's oven is different, so begin checking it, and when the toothpick test comes back in the middle, poke it in there, and it comes out clean, your cake is done. And then we'll go on with the next step. Our cake is out of the oven, it's done. And normally this is where you would let your cake rest completely before you do anything to it. But we are going to poke this cake with holes. And all of my spatulas and my wooden spoons have flat handles, and I need one that's round, so I'm going to use a wooden chopstick, and I'm just going to, hopefully you can see that, I'm just going to begin to punch holes all down in this cake. All over it. These are called poke cakes. The first poke cake that I ever had was one that my mother made, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was a white cake. Could have been yellow, but I think it was white. And she used red and green Jell-O, and it was at Christmas time. I don't, of course, remember the frosting, or maybe it was a Cool Whip. I don't know for sure, but I just know that as kids, we were amazed that you cut this pretty cake open and then there was all the pretty green and the red. So I had to have a topping because we didn't see it until she cut it open. So you see that you put holes all in the cake. The coconut is cooled, but it's going to go on at the very last when this cake is totally cooled off and we're ready to put the other topping, the Cool Whip topping and the coconut on top. In this measuring cup, is 14 ounces of cream of coconut, not coconut milk, cream of coconut. Now this bottle holds 22 ounces, and it looks like this. I got it upside down because it's a squirty kind. It holds 22 ounces, and I only need 14 ounces of this. A lot of times you can find cream of coconut in a can, and I believe it is about 14 ounces. But anyway, that's 22, no problem. We just measured out 14 ounces of cream of coconut. And then the other thing that we're going to add is a can of sweetened condensed milk. We're going to add it right in there with the cream of coconut. And I'm going to whisk those together. Now, what this does, and any poke cake that you make, it makes the cake really, really super, super moist. I make a chocolate one, and it's really, really good. I make one that's carrot cake, and it's good. And the premise is this here is just going to soak into this hot cake and make it super, super moist. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just pour this over the cake. And it's going to go down the sides, and it's going to go in all of those little holes, and it's going to fill this up. Now, this is not a cake that's staying at my house. This is a cake that's going to the church, and it'll be sliced into pieces for a bunch of people to enjoy. So this is definitely not a low carb or sugar-free cake or anything like that. But we are taking this to share the meal with other people in our church and for our visitors. And so you just let this start soaking this up, and it'll continue to soak in while the cake is cooling, and then we'll be able to carry on with the next part of the recipe. Now, while this cake was doing its thing, I got a big bowl of banana pudding made, and I've got some sauerkraut and kielbasa on in the crock pot. I'm taking some really good home seasoned black-eyed peas and probably some peppers or some different things to go along with it. The cake is completely cool, and hopefully you can see that all of the cream of coconut and the sweetened condensed milk has all soaked into this cake, and so it's going to be a very, very moist cake. Now that it's completely cooled, we're going to put a topping on this, not an icing or a frosting, but we are going to put a whipped topping. You can use homemade whipping cream if you want to do that, and put a stabilizer in it, but I'm going to use this Cool Whip. We're going to put it in the fridge and let it cool. It's going to stay cold or in the refrigerator the whole time that our singing is going on at the church, and then it'll be taken out and put on the dessert table. You want to put it in the refrigerator because It just seems like it enhances the flavor and everything when it gets good and chilled. You need an 8-ounce tub of whipped topping. This is a 16-ounce tub, so I'm just gonna eyeball this and put about half of it in there. And now that it's totally cool, I'm just going to get that on the cake. And we will spread this out, and you can make it really pretty. Make it look like a frosting if you want to do that, or you can make it all just flat and straight like that if you want to do that. It's really up to you and how you want it to look. I kind of like the look of the frosting. Actually going to put a little bit more of that whipped topping on there. Put on that so we can get it in the refrigerator. Now, it's really up to you. If you buy one of these big canisters, how much of the topping that you go ahead and put on there. Of course, if you buy an 8-ounce, that's all you're going to get. And now the only other thing to do is put your coconut on the top. Now, this is totally up to you whether you toast your coconut or not. You don't have to toast the coconut. You could just leave as, you want to use sweetened coconut, but you could just put the coconut flakes on there as is. I just think toasted makes a little bit better, colorful and pretty presentation. And so I'm just going to sprinkle this on there. I thought that this would make a good cake getting close to the Easter holiday. I know a lot of people will be doing carrot, and I love carrot. I can't imagine anyone not liking carrot, but there are individuals that don't. And so I'm just going to smooth this out and put this on there. And that's also up to you how much you use. So here is our cream of coconut cake. It really makes it a little bit heavier. Of course, this pan is heavy anyways, but it makes it heavier with it having all that extra yummy inside the cake. So what you want to do after it's done, you want to go ahead and cover it, and you want to put it in the refrigerator and let it stay chilled. You could chill it overnight and serve it the next day. I'm going to get it in the refrigerator, and by the time we eat this evening, it will have been in the refrigerator about 5 hours. So I'm going to cover it up and get it in the fridge, and make sure that everything else is good to go. That sauerkraut and kielbasa smells so good. I can't hardly wait for supper. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this recipe. Maybe this will be a good idea for you for the Easter holidays. I love you guys. I really do. Keep looking well to the ways of your household. And until next time, we're gone.